Reminiscent of Kobe and Shaq. You heard LeBron talking about it earlier. To be named alongside Shaq and Kobe feels pretty darn good, but they got 2 more wins. But check it out. Tied at .952 win percentage. Best in NBA history, minimum 15 games. LeBron and AD, when they combine for 6 or more, they're 20-1. You're not beating that. AD speaking with the media.
Anthony, you and LeBron, AD, you and LeBron are the first Laker teammates to score 30-plus in a finals game since Kobe and Shaq did it in 2002. I asked LeBron the same question. Are there elements that you see of both Kobe's game and Shaq's game in your game, and both Kobe's game and Shaq's game and LeBron's game? And if there are, could you describe them?
Those 2 guys are obviously special. That duo is special together. The best duo we've seen. Multiple championships, but they both are so dominant. I know they had a little sit down. They was talking about they were arguing because they both wanted to be so dominant. They both wanted to be great. They both wanted to win, and that's why they kind of gelled together outside of everything else that you might have heard that they were going through. But those 2 guys were selfless. They both had a competitive spirit with themselves to build their teams to win. And I think me and Bron's the same way. We're 2 guys who want to win, no matter the circumstance. We both want to. We both want to. To make sure that we do whatever it takes to help our team win. And when you got 2 guys that's selfless, and it's not gonna always be pretty. Sometimes we're gonna argue. Sometimes we're gonna have disagreements, but we know it's coming from the right place. But when you got 2 guys who want to win as bad as we do and want to be dominant every single game, you have games like tonight. Where 2 guys able to score the basketball, able to rebound, and able to find guys. So it's rare you see it. We know we have something special with us too, and with this team. We just try to capitalize on it.
You had to match up the pair, you guys and them. Who's Shaq and who's Kobe out of you and LeBron?
He's Kobe because he handles the ball, and I'm Shaq because I play in the post.
Frank was saying no matter who Miami has in their offense, they're just really tough to guard, and obviously put up 39 on you guys in the 3rd quarter. What about their offense kind of forces you guys into uncomfortable positions, and where do you feel you guys can make growth in 2 days?
They just play so free. Everybody's moving, everybody's cutting, everybody on the floor is live, which means everybody just kind of do random things. So it's tough on the defense. You really have to talk, you really have to communicate, you really have to know what schemes you in. And they put a lot of pressure, on the defense. For us, we got to do a better job on, communicating on the defensive end and being in coverage. Talking in the coverage and making sure guys know what we're in. We can't, assume somebody's going to be somewhere. We have to talk and relay the messages and the defensive schemes and the calls to one another, so we know that. So we let the other guy know what we're in, so we don't have too many hiccups and too many mistakes. In that 3rd quarter, we had a ton of open layups, ton of open threes, and they made us pay.
All right, Kazu? I'm sorry, Dan?
Anthony, all season long, the message has been stay in the moment, don't look too far ahead. But here you guys are, 2 games from the goal that you guys set for yourselves at 12, 13 months ago when the season began. How important is that stay in the moment message for you guys, specifically right now in this moment?
It's huge. I mean, this team have shown, in both games that they're able to, fight back. Even when they're down 20, 30, whatever it is, they're able to fight back and make plays. And so we can't get too high, especially with this team, and they didn't even have their two of their top scorers, two of their best players. So they always have that next man up mentality, and they come and they play every night. They play hard, play physical, they play aggressive. And so we came in tonight and said this is a must-win for us. And we're going to come in next game and say it's a must-win, and the next game is a must-win, and so forth, so on and so forth. So we know what this team is capable of. I think they had 4 guys or 5 guys with 15 plus. Guys coming off the bench, scoring, playing well. So we have to lock in on those guys and show them respect as well, which we do. But this team can play, and we have to have to be wary of that and just make sure that we come in and get better in our defensive schemes, which is going to help us win.
Sam,
you guys have obviously figured out how to compete at a high level in this weird environment, but I wonder, on a night like tonight, your agent, Rich Paul, was here, Jeannie was here, you got family members of different players. Are you drawing any energy at all from the folks off the floor, or is it something different where it's the hardwood and that's it?
We don't even – it's kind of dark over there, so you don't really see them. I'm not sure if they're allowed to make any noise or anything like that, but we really bring energy from ourselves. Our bench does a great job of bringing us that energy, cheering for us. I mean, you see all the, animations our team, does on the sideline. JR, Dion, Dwight, JaVale, all those guys are coasters. All those guys are the first ones up when we make a big play. So that's where we kind of get our energy from, within each other, and go out there and play as hard as we can. When you got a team like that who's always cheering us on and celebrating when we make big plays, you find a little bit of extra energy, even when you're tired. I know sometimes when I'm going up and down the floor and, you might get a little winded, and I see them guys cheering us on, yelling, screaming at us. You find that extra energy to do whatever you got to do to help the team win.
All right, go back to Will.
Yeah, I'll take a couple more. Tanya?
Hey, AD, you mentioned earlier today just the concept of it's not always pretty. Sometimes there are disagreements and arguments a little bit, but the ultimate goal is positive, and that's why that's not a big deal. I wonder if that kind of played itself out today during the game. Were there moments when you and LeBron were disagreeing about something that was going on? And
did y'all see something?
A little bit.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we just try to both hold each other accountable. We both want to be great. We both want to, dominate the game. And we had some blown coverages on the defensive end. And, we're both frustrated because we had multiple coverages that were blown tonight. And, we just all piling up, and, we kind of just had that moment, put it behind us and just kept playing. So, like I said, it's not going to always be pretty, It always seemed like, everything's good with me and him. But we do have our, times where we do yell at each other and we do argue. But we know it's coming from a good place. So we get over it quickly and move on to the next play. But they're just two guys who really want to win and have a love for the game.
All right, the last one for you, Mike Trudell.
Hey, Anthony, just wondered what Miami is doing is really trying to keep you guys out of the paint. You were able to get there regardless, maybe some on the offensive glass. But what does it take discipline-wise to not just take the threes against the way they're trying to play?
It's tough because we're open a lot. They want you to shoot the three, and our shooters were a little bit off tonight. But we hit some big threes to kind of keep that lead. But we're doing a good job of getting in the teeth of the zone and finding guys. And we're going to continue to encourage our guys to shoot those shots. If you're open, there should be no hesitation whether you should shoot the three or not. No matter if you're 0 for 10, 0 for 8, whatever. We want you to keep shooting, because we know those shots are going to fall for us. And when we get it in the middle of the zone, this team likes to run zone. So when we get in the middle, it's about making the right read. Myself, Bron, and Rondo usually in the middle of the zone, and we're either going to find our shooters or have layups or find a guy that's going baseline to baseline. So when we get in the middle, it kind of opens things up for us. But it really opens up when our guys are making shots. And like I said, we're going to continue to encourage those guys to shoot. Whether you miss 4 or 5 in a row. We have to make them honor that shot, and they're going to fall.
That's what I'm talking about right there. Look at that, man.
Just so you know, Medina family.
Oh, throw it the powder.
They threw in the chop.
The powder, young fella. Y'all need to
I think they added 2 from last time.
Y'all need to invite Big Game to the party.
Medina family, Big Game was chilling in his chair. He thought we were going to go to some LeBron. He got out of his chair so quick.
Y'all need to invite Big Game to the Worthy Clap postgame. I'll come show up.
By the way, he will. Came to my daughter's 5-year-old birthday party about 5 years ago. She still talks about it.
James,
yeah. You walked across the street right to Scooter's Jungle. True story. People couldn't believe it.
Had free hot dogs, too.
That's funny. LeBron is averaging 29, 11, and 9 in the finals. He's now speaking with Mike in the media.
Hey, LeBron, Mike Trudell in L.A. I believe you would have just finished your junior year in high school, 2002. Kobe and Shaq both go for 30-plus against the Nets. Game 3, the finals. You, of course, were then drafted the next year. You and AD, it's the first time Lakers teammates have done that since then. Just wondered if you were, like, your thoughts on the Kobe-Shaq dynamic and kind of what it's like going through a game like today with AD, especially at a similar level of efficiency.
Obviously being in high school and watching the Kobe-Shaq duo, it was the most dominant duo that I have personally seen in my life from a basketball perspective. Hadn't seen, obviously, we knew the force that Shaq brought to the table, but the elegance and force that Kobe played with as well. They were very dominant in what they did on the floor, on both sides of the floor. So to be in a conversation with those two guys, myself and Anthony, or myself and AD, he's going to kill me. Myself and AD, it's just very humbling because, I know I grew up watching those guys. I grew up admiring Kobe, obviously, for, kid coming straight out of high school. So, admired that kid that was young and got the opportunity and obviously the force that Shaq played with. So, just very humbling, and we're happy that we can be even mentioned with those greats.
LeBron, both AD and Frank kind of indicated that even though it's a win, they weren't totally happy with how things went today, defensively, especially. Frank had mentioned. Do you agree with that? And if so, what concerns you about?
No, I definitely agree. And myself, coach, and AD was not happy with our defensive presence tonight. We know we can be a lot better, and we're just myself and AD, we're not satisfied, and with just a win. We want to be great. We want to be great. As close to 48 minutes as possible. And I know I said it after game 1, but I'm extremely excited to watch the film tomorrow as well as a group and see ways we can be better. We're playing against a very dangerous team in Miami where, they have 5 guys on the floor that's a threat, as they've shown tonight. So we have to continue to stay on our P's and Q's and cross our T's and dot our I's throughout the course of the game. And just, if we have a breakdown, being able to cover for one another, but they do a great job of putting your defense in positions that you may not be accustomed to. So we definitely was not happy with our performance defensively tonight. And hopefully we can be, we know, not hopefully, we know we'll be better in game 3.
Allison?
Start with David Benjamin.
LeBron, if you indulge me on the Kobe-Shaq line of questioning, obviously Shaq, big post presence, a 5 as much as a 5 can be, Kobe perimeter and all that. You and AD seem to have elements, maybe a bit of both of their games. I don't know if you would agree with that, but if you do, could you describe how maybe both of you are a bit of a hybrid of what those guys brought to the court?
Well, I guess if you look at the sense of the size and the power and the speed that Shaq at his size played with, you could look at my game throughout the course of my career and say that. And then you look at the elegance and the ability to shoot the ball and the ability to play in the paint as well, post up, get into the perimeter. I guess you can say that you can have some of AD's game that can compare to Kobe's game in that sense. Obviously, we're all 4 of us, we're all different positions. Kobe was a natural two guard. I'm kind of I don't know, whatever position. Shaq is a center, and AD is kind of a hybrid as well. So, but I guess all four of us, we have a winning mentality, and we just try to make enough plays out on the floor throughout the course of the game that would benefit not only ourselves individually, but for the most important thing, for the better of the team. And I can't even believe that we, up here talking about myself and AD with Kobe and Shaq. I mean, it's an incredible thing.
How's yours?
In the third quarter, you guys had an 18-point lead, and pretty close to that point, the Heat had a timeout, and UD was talking to the guys and really fired up. And at that point, it seemed like there was maybe a turn in momentum, and they started attacking aggressively. What do you know about UD that makes him impactful to a bench of players like that, even though he himself is not playing in the game?
Just check his resume. It's that simple. I mean, he's put in the work. He's been there. He's been through everything that the Heat franchise have seen. He's seen it all. He's done it all. I mean, just check his resume. So, and he's there's not many guys that talk about it and also be about it. He's one of them. And if you want to be in a foxhole, that's somebody you want to be in a foxhole with.
Dan?
LeBron, you used the word force probably 6 or 7 times in the first 2 answers today. How important has your team's ability to play with force made a difference in these first 2 games?
Well, I think I was talking about force because Shaq's name came up, and there's no way that you can talk about Shaq and not that word come up. From a team's perspective, I think we've done a good job of, one, not turning the ball over, but also still being able to play with force, as you would say. Play with tempo offensively, get good looks, get looks that we like, make or miss, and live with the results. Now, we have to play with that type of force defensively, but also from a cerebral side as well, from thinking the game a little bit better as they're going through their offense and their pace and their force as well. So we got to be a lot better, obviously, on that side.
We'll send it back to Will for a couple.
All right, y'all take a couple more. Andy Kamenetsky.
Hey, LeBron. When you guys advanced past Denver, Frank was talking about the relationship he has with you, and he said that the buy-in that you had with him as a coach and the immediacy of that buy-in did a lot for this team and where you are right now. What was it about Frank that gave you that immediate buy-in and that you gravitated towards quickly?
For one, from a competitive standpoint, going against Frank's teams in Indiana when we had our battles when I was in Miami, you understood how well those teams were coached, and it starts, with the head coach, and the players are an extension of the head coach. So I had that memory of that, just battling those Indiana Pacer teams. And for me, I've always been a coachable player throughout my whole life. I've played for multiple coaches, and I've always been a coachable player. So, the respect, more importantly, he's the head coach, and the head coach should have the respect from all his players, no matter who you are, if you're really serious about trying to make an impact or really trying to do something special. So, it was just that simple for me personally.
Allison, back to you.
One more on this end. All right, thanks, LeBron.
Appreciate it.
Seems like every single night, LeBron James continues to move up in the record books. He's now 4th in rebounds in NBA Finals history. It's just something every single night, James, and you can look at the names on that list, and we're talking Russell, Wilt, Elgin, Cap, Magic, Shaq, Duncan, Pettit, Heinsohn. Come on.
He's a guard.
Yeah, it's tough to say that.
A guard,
Yeah.
you know, a unique specimen of a guard, though. I would have to say that, but just goes to show you that, you know, he really is all about team. You know, you look at these players on that list, you know, Bill Russell, 11 championships. Wilt didn't win as many as he could, but Elgin Baylor didn't win. But they're all team players. Kareem won 6.
Duncan 5.
I can't read number 6. I don't know who that is. But,
Yeah, I don't know who that is either.
but yeah, I mean, that's a hell of a list to, much respect, Tom Ice.
Yeah. Tommy won a lot with the
Yeah,
Celtics.
he hit that big